Martin. And if that is the case, then big thank you to all of you for keeping this secret a secret for so long. Thank you very much to Sarah and the team in the office for not letting on. This has been going on for a few weeks now. And it's good to know that I can stand here and get one over on the Chief Executive of the AEC. It's good to know that we can all do this, actually, just for once in his life. Let me start. I'll only do a couple of minutes, because I know there's a lot to be doing here. I think everybody in this room knows that Martin will shortly be going on to pastures new in The Hague. And quite rightly, colleagues wanted to mark the passing of our esteemed leader in a tangible way. A way that would show Martin how much we care, how much we'll miss him, but mainly just to say thank you. Now, actually I put here on the thing, firmly pinned to my office wall, but in fact I brought it with me, is a photograph taken at the IRC meeting in Vilnius. And I remember at that meeting, vividly, all sorts of things, not least looking around the conference table and thinking, what a lot of people. And just to think that a couple of years before that, the Sibelius and the Polyphonia networks had agonised in Salzburg, I think, about whether the two should come together to discuss things of real interest. There were 50 people there, and it seemed like millions, and today we're 180 plus, which is fantastic. But the point about this isn't that we've grown in numbers. The real point is that without the enthusiasm of key members, we'd still be stuck in the good old bad old days, talking about nothing in particular and everything in general. When the networks decided to come together under Martin's leadership, and therefore under the aegis of the AEC, for which Martin has been an exemplary leader and figurehead, the sense of community, friendship and purpose grew exponentially in a way that no one could possibly have predicted. Of course, we've all contributed to this in our own way and made immense efforts to move on various agendas, whether they be exchange programs, networking, artistic collaborations, website materials, the QA agenda, booklets, brochures, and so on. But essentially, we've Martin and his team to thank for all of this, because without Martin's foresight, expertise, determination and dedication, none of this would have happened quite as effectively as we've all come to appreciate, and possibly some of it never at all. So, as Martin draws a veil on his time as Chief Executive of the AEC, I'm sort of very slightly reminded of the great 17th century British architect Sir Christopher Wren, whose epitaph in the crypt of St Paul's Cathedral reads very simply, Si monumentum requiris circumspice, or in plain English, if you seek his monument, look around you. This may seem rather dramatic, but I think it's worth bearing in mind that without Martin and his vision of what the AEC stands for and can do for all of us, none of the foundations on which all of the past 17 or 18 years' achievements could have come about. So, my friends, look around you today, ponder for a moment on how we arrived here and the journey we've all taken, and be sure that none of it would have happened without Martin leading the way. So, Martin, you leave behind a community of IRCs and other friends, knowing that you couldn't possibly have worked any harder for what we all stand, and for what we promise we will continue to strive. This conference represents everything for which you've worked, a sense of family and achievement across nations, and we, in return, would like to give you a couple of gifts, which we hope will be a reminder to you of all your friends. Could you come and join me on stage? Firstly, Martin, we have a little book of, I was going to say remembrance, but you know what I mean, a book of signatures and bon mots and comments, which I'm sure are very well meant, and you can read them in your leisure. But more than that, we wanted you to have something that would remind you of all of us, and you'd look at and think, I remember those good old, bad old days. So for that, there's a lovely, I hope you think, lovely picture of Europe.
Now, this is really difficult for me because it kind of appeals to my lack of flexibility. And I always had to I was being proud of that I knew everything that was going on in the AEC. But I didn't know you were signing a book and you're having all these kind of plans for me, so I'm kind of caught off guard here. But I will saying something to you a bit later on in this session. I very much like this picture. And you know why especially? Because it has a very big place for the Czech land. But it has mistaken it because it says Austrian Empire. One of the things I will do, I'll take off the glass and erase this. Czech Kingdom. Thank you very much. I'll be addressing you a bit later on. I hope you don't mind if we just go a little bit on with the business that we need to do. Always business as usual. So, at this moment, I just would like to take you through some information about the AEC, what will happen over the coming year or so. And we have colleagues lined up to come and speak to you and invite you to the various meetings that we're going to be organizing. Here you have an overview, and may I invite as first Irene from the Warsaw Chopin University to speak a few words to us.
It is difficult now to start to speak after such an event. Thank you, Martin, as well, very much for your big help, for your big job you have done for us all. I am representing the Friedrich Chopin University of Music. My name is Irene Podobas. It is a very big pleasure for me to announce the Congress, AEC Congress, which we will host in November from the 4th until 7th, of we wrote here until 6th, but we invite you until 7th because we are preparing a special program for our dear guests, for all of you, also for your rectors and representatives of your universities in Europe and not only. We are inviting all of you for a special event. Our university celebrates this year many anniversaries. One of it it's Chopin's birthday, 200 years of his birthday. Another one is the establishment of our university, also 200 years ago. It started everything with the Chopin, with his teacher Józef Elsner, as the establisher of the biggest, the largest Polish and the oldest music institution. Now became since 2 years as a university, only one music university, the Friedrich Chopin University of Music. So we invite all the guests to our nice country, to our nice institution as the Friedrich Chopin University of Music. You will find all the necessary information on the AEC website. You can print it and you can send us yourself. Just come. We are waiting for you. I just would like to say this is an unusual event because you will have the possibility to touch the spirit of Chopin. You will follow by his steps. We will start from his place of birth, from Żelazowa Wola, and around, and also the 20 years he spent in Warsaw. So we will follow by his steps. Being there. Welcome.
Our colleague from Geneva is... Yeah, okay.
Dear colleagues and friends, I have the pleasure to inform you that the next meeting of the AEC Early Music Platform will take place at the Haute Ecole de Musique de Genève on the 14th and 15th of January. Topics of the meeting will be the limits of written transmission and historical pedagogy, from treatises to direct transmission and pedagogical techniques within historical method and world music. The program of the meeting will start by a keynote speech on the limits of written transmission by Marcel Prchal, followed by discussion with the audience. On Saturday, session will consist of presentation on career development in the early music education in various conservatories in Europe by invited speakers and students. Next to these sessions, an important musical animation will be given. A preliminary program can be found at www.icinfo.org/Genève. Additional information about registration and hotel reservation will be circulated later in October on the AEC website and www.hemge.ch. Of course, this meeting is open to everyone, so thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you soon in Geneva.
Thank you. May we move on to Irene Hofmann from Graz?
Hello to everybody. I haven't had the possibility to speak to everybody of you, but I'm very glad that I now have the honor to announce the next pop and jazz platform, which will take place in Austria, in Graz, at the Kunstuniversität Graz, or the University of Music and Performing Arts Graz, which is not so easy to speak. And I brought a few pictures that might help you to make a decision to come to our university. I would be really glad and honored to welcome everybody of you, which might raise the number of guests. I hope so. You're very, very welcome, and I hope to see you in February 2011 on 18th of February. Thank you.